I can't believe no one is talking about this yet. Tyler got hit with a federal lawsuit claiming copyright infringement, and it just seems so blatant. I don't know. I'm gonna show you guys what they're claiming. We have the actual complaint. This lawsuit was filed in a federal court in Texas, and I kind of want to just jump right into it. If you like these deep dives, like this video, be sure to subscribe, and let's jump into it. All right, here is the lawsuit. We're in Texas, and the plaintiffs are Anne and Joy, okay? And we'll explain who they are, but suing Tyler, as well as Louis Vuitton and Converse. They're suing over this picture right here. And this is little Bliss, okay? So Bliss is an Airedale Terrier, okay? And this picture was captured by a photographer, Anne, and the beloved pet parent is Joy. All right, so they are the plaintiffs and they co-own the picture. All right, so then what we're looking at here is on the left is the original image, and then on the right are the various iterations, and we should say symbols used by Tyler, Louis Vuitton, and Converse. Okay, so I want you guys to look at this because we're looking at all kinds of things from the shape, right? So we see the body is in a very similar, if not exact, position to the original. We see things like the little ear is bent, the general shadowing. So it's not necessarily a copy and paste. You could say these are new versions, but there are, as the complaint says, striking similarities. The joint owners of the copyrighted photograph in which Bliss appears is below. Recently, they were shocked to discover that their copyrighted photo was reproduced and distributed without authorization by Tyler, a renowned rapper, in connection with his own luxury lifestyle brand, GLF, and in commercial exploitation with Louis Vuitton and Converse. Let me just start by saying, okay, guys, I do IP all the time. So we're doing intellectual property, which is copyright, trademarks, and we're suing and we're defending in federal court. And so looking at this, I go, okay, first of all, my gut instinct is yikes. And let's just pretend for 2 seconds that something happened and maybe it wasn't even Tyler himself. If what the plaintiffs are saying is true, which is this is a replication, a duplication of the original image, well, if someone on your team sent this to you and they're like, I got a guy and I got this picture from him, and then he gives it to Tyler, unfortunately, liability can carry. But with these businesses, I kind of expect so much more, like a Louis Vuitton on clearance. Something that we do a lot is to clear and make sure the rights to these images are free and clear, and we know where they came from. So I'm wondering at every stage of the production cycle for these different brands, including at Tyler's stage, where did they get the image? And what did they do to make sure that it had been cleared? The plaintiffs are saying at no point did the defendants seek permission to use the image. So let's go down and let's just kind of see what happened. All right, so the background, of course, we have the pet parent as well as the photographer. And the photographer, let's see, they have it here. And you see Bliss in a competition in a moment of, I mean, this is just such a great picture. Such a great picture. So that's the artwork. You know, and they go on to basically say with Tyler, so the defendant is a rapper, songwriter, singer, fashion designer, popularly known as Tyler, the Creator. Tyler has been active in the music industry for almost 2 decades and has amassed a large fan following, which opened the door to non-music ventures. Tyler became a significant fashion icon with his clothing venture, Golf Wang and Fleur, and has collaborated with some of the most well-known fashion companies in the world, including Louis Vuitton and Converse. There's indemnification language, and I can say this without any hesitation, that when you do contracts with these companies, they say, hey, we're working with you. If you get sued by anybody, you're going to pay the lawyer's fees, right? Or if you get us sued, you're going to pay the lawyer's fees, you're going to defend, you're going to basically pay any settlement. So probably what these companies are going to do is that their first fire is going to come in and be, we're asking for dismissal because Tyler is the one that has to deal with this. So we get to get kicked out of the case. Will they survive? I don't know, but that would be probably what's going to happen first and foremost. All right, the Golf Fleur clothing collection was introduced at a Golf Wang fashion show in 2016 with the original collection named and styled Golf Fleur. The collection began as a collaboration with Converse and served as a successor to Tyler's previous collaboration with Vans. All right, so in December of 2021, right, they launched this thing and they go on and they're like, Tyler has been an avid fan of Airedale Terriers, okay? And they're going to go through and they're like, he's a real fan, believing that their style, appearance best to encapsulate the GLF brand in recent years. Tyler has incorporated them into his music videos and clothing line. One Airedale in particular Daryl is regarded as the unofficial mascot for Tyler's music and designs. On Information and Belief, Airedale made their first appearance with Tyler in his music video for his track Dogtooth, released in March of 2023. In the video, Tyler can be seen wearing a Golf Le Fleur shirt printed with a graphic copy of the infringing work. So here we go. They were alleging this is Little Bliss. Airedale Terrier dogs are also featured throughout the music video. Since the GLF product line's first introduction, the infringing work has been prominently used on GLF merchandise. Okay, so we see blue eyes, but I think that's a little stripe on the tail. Here's some more merch, so you see. And guys, remember too, this is copyright infringement as of this complaint, but at some point, something that you're using repetitively on your clothing, it can become, and it does become, your trademark, which are two different things. You have the copyright in the design, but then you have an actual trademark that you own. Okay, so that's important that you can sue on two different grounds. The infringing work is also displayed prominently on the bottom of the GFL website, thereby cementing the Airedale's status as the brand's mascot. Tyler and GLF have also collaborated with Louis Vuitton and Converse, leading to more infringing copies of the Airedale work in the marketplace. Now, one of the most interesting things that we're going to see at the end of this is that they want actual damages. In most of these copyright infringement cases, the plaintiffs say we want statutory damages because we say we had a copyright registration, you infringed our copyrighted, in this case, design, and so now we want up to $150,000 in statutory damages times every instance that you infringe, which usually is where we can get into not just hundreds of thousands of dollars of claimed damages, but millions. But because we're dealing with three massively successful brands, they're asking for actual damages, which really stood out to me on how popular and how much money they think that they can get comparing the two options. All right, so they announced the spring 2024 collection that heavily featured Bliss, the infringing work on Louis Vuitton bags and accessories. All right, so you see, again, the allegedly infringing work here on a Louis Vuitton bag. All right, Converse, another popular brand, is known for its Converse All-Stars or Chuck Taylors. As part of Converse's efforts to keep their shoe brands popular, they have collaborated with various musical and fashion icons such as Tyler. The infringing work was used in collaboration with Tyler, GLF, and Converse. One of the most recent collaborations with Converse involved the Golf Le Fleur Darrow Converse Chuck 70, which was released in November of 2024. So, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. The extent of how much this image has been used is why, again, I'm like, probably why they're asking for actual damages, because you can go so far as to say, I want disgorgement. I want to take all of the profits that you made. I'm very curious to see what the total amount of money is that has been made from all of the merchandise, all of the shirts and shoes and bags bearing this design. All right, and here's some more of the designs. All right, so we're seeing the logo here on the shoe. Oh my gosh, there's even an entire blow up. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Converse still markets the collaboration with the infringing work on its website, and we did see that. You can still go and purchase. The extensive list of defendants' infringing work includes far more examples than what has been provided herein. In late 2024, plaintiffs learned of defendants' infringing work. Plaintiffs never gave defendants permission or authority to copy, distribute, or display the Airedale work at issue in this case. So they're asking for copyright infringement. Now, they at no point talk about where they think the, I should say, access came from. Did Tyler see this at some point? Was it published on their website somewhere? They probably don't have this information yet. That's what you get in discovery. So that is a little bit later in the case where you get to ask for documents. You get to request that they answer questions. You can do depositions. So this is going to be part of the litigation process. And as promised here in the damages, what do they want? All right, so they're asking for actual damages, not statutory damages, actual, and any additional profits of defendants. Plaintiffs are entitled to recover their costs on top of that, and then they want a permanent injunction. So they're saying, Your Honor, we want you to force these brands to pull off the market everything. If there is going to be a discussion and there is actual potential liability here, and I'm curious what you guys think, leave a comment down below. But part of what we do is that we ask for injunctions if we're the plaintiff and we go, we need you to stop. So that means you have to stop production, you have to stop selling, but at the end of the day, that's going to be a huge hit when you're dealing with physical goods, because they have lots of warehouses right now filled with all the different sizes of the shoes, all the different sizes of the sweaters. And so there is a lot of expense that's already been incurred. So sometimes in having a meaningful settlement discussion, it's going to be, well, we're going to sell off the last of the inventory, or we're going to give you credit, or we're going to pay you. So I'm curious to see what happens here. This is nothing short of kind of shocking, but who knows? We're going to cover this. So make sure you subscribe so that when Tyler and Louis Vuitton and Converse actually answer, we're going to cover and let you know what they say. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Top Music Attorney.